So our next grammar lesson, let me move that, it's in the way, we don't need that yet. Okay, our next grammar lesson is regarding what are called plural possessives. First one were singular possessives. Now we are concerned, why can't I drag this? Come on. Technology. There we go. Our plural possessives. Okay? And likewise, the word plural doesn't refer to how much of the thing you have, but how much of the thing you are. So let's look at a list here. Okay? I don't know why everything seems to just make more sense with teams, but most of my examples regard teams. So, women's basketball team, or women's restrooms, or a men's football team, or men's academics. It's easy how you'd pronounce it. I mean, I haven't written any of the S's here yet, but you know how to pronounce it. Okay? The last rule was to write it how you say it. That's similar here. You still write it how you say it, but the question now becomes, where is the apostrophe? So we know we need an S here somewhere for women's basketball team. That's how you say it, or women's restrooms, regardless of whether it's one or two over here. The question is, where is the apostrophe? And here's the rule. If this word over here, women, women, men, men, if that word all by itself is already plural, there's the bell, is already plural, then the apostrophe comes before the S. If, however, you say the girls' lacrosse team or the boys' fencing team, girls' lacrosse team needs the S to make this word plural. There are many girls on the lacrosse team. There are many boys on the fencing team. Then the apostrophe comes on the outside because this word needs the S to make it plural. The S doesn't have anything to do with the possession. That's what the apostrophe does. The S has, in this case, has to do with making boys plural. You wouldn't say the boys' fencing team or the girls' lacrosse team, so that's not right. It's S apostrophe. Okay? Next rule is when there are two things. There are two subjects owning or possessing the same thing. Okay, so the question now is it Marshall's and David's fingers? Is it Evan's and Derek's baseball team? If the two items, and here's the rule, if the two items, if the two subjects or nouns are sharing the item on the right, if they're sharing it, then the last one gets the S. And it's like this S carries over for the second and the first. But that would be weird. Marshall and David shouldn't share fingers. That's strange. That sounds a little bit like Frankenstein. So here you would mean Marshall's, that's below, but you get what I mean, Marshall's and David's fingers, because they're not sharing fingers. That's strange. It's a strange example, but it's fine. Versus Evan and Derek's baseball team. Most likely they are on the same team. Okay? If they had two teams, then it would be Evan's and Derek's baseball teams, and you would get that they were different things. But if these two things share it, the S goes on the end, and this S carries over for both. If you mean separate, Marshall and David's fingers, you know, Emily and Sarah's backpacks, then they each get their own S. Make sense?